She said, what?
How could they do something like that?
Are you serious?
What a thirsty MFer.
Not good. She's absolutely dead to me.
That's because she died.
I'm Sterling Mulberry.
And I'm Blair Payton. And welcome to
Bad Behavior, a morally questionable podcast.
We're two unqualified friends,
Two unhinged comedians,
determined once and for all what is good
and what is bad.
Hello and welcome to Bad Behavior. I'm Blair Payton.
And I'm Sterling Mulberry.
Sterling, how are you?
I'm good. I'm celebrating a big day today.
Oh, what is it?
It's my anniversary. 2 years after I got hit by a truck.
Has it really been 2 years?
Yeah. It actually feels like 1,000 years ago.
So, like, when you hit a certain age, such as the one I am currently living in, time means nothing anymore. So I, as of this month, will have been in New York 7 years.
Yeah.
It feels like so much time, but also like no time. And that's kind of the same with you being hit by a car. It feels like, it feels like a long time ago, but yet it doesn't.
It's crazy. I got hit by that car and...
Well, for people who don't know, Sterling got hit by a car. Walk us through that day. Take us back there.
I was in Woodstock, New York. I had just gotten a breakfast burrito and eaten it.
From where?
A little shop in Woodstock, New York. And my best friend and I were like,
what were the toppings?
It was honestly not memorable.
So your day had already started bad. So it was inevitable you would get hit by a car.
We're about to drive back to New York City. So we were like, let's just go to one last souvenir shop because we really wanted to get a sweatshirt. And so then my friend and I were crossing the street and we got hit by a truck. And I said, it's going to be a little longer till we leave now.
At what speed was this car coming?
Well, we didn't die. So it was probably 5 to 10. 5 to 10.
Okay.
But it was enough to break bones. And I had a classic woman moment. And that is when I got hit by a truck and I immediately apologized to everyone. I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed to be in the street, like laying.
Well, can I ask you this?
Yeah.
Did your friend happen to take a picture of you when you got hit by a car? Because I only ask. Because do you remember in the wedding planner where...
Well, my friend was also getting hit.
She's not the focus of the story. So, but you remember in the wedding planner where she got stuck in a manhole or her shoe got stuck or whatever, but she looked just flawless. So was it like a movie moment where you got hit by a car, but you looked effervescent? No?
Did not look
So
that
life
way.
is not like the movies. That's the takeaway.
No, I mean, we took some pictures after, and let me say, I'm not looking good.
Well, if I may borrow a song lyric from someone I recently saw in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I don't know if it made me stronger. I actually think the last 2 years have made me weaker.
Oh, I don't know.
I think...
Pick up that couch you're setting up right now. I believe you got
actually,
the
I
strength.
feel physically very strong, actually. But I think, emotionally, I'm so, I'm as we've talked about...
Oh, yeah, you're a mess. But I'm talking physically, you're strong. So that's the takeaway.
I literally watched And Just Like That last night. Sobbing by the end. Send help.
The season finale?
How am I... Was that the season finale? I thought it was, but I wasn't
Well,
sure.
can I ask you what happened? I don't want to ruin anything.
It really felt like the season finale.
Did they have dinner?
They had dinner.
It was the season finale.
The stuff with her and Aiden, when he was almost, I thought, breaking up with her, I'm bawling. I'm bawling my eyes.
Yeah, but then that bullshit where he was like, let's just wait 5 years. What?
I'm really you guys know you can visit each other.
And also, his ex-wife is pretty stable, you know? And the fact that he doesn't trust her, it's like, oof, okay, I see why she left you. I'm saying it.
Yeah, there were many moments in that episode that made me... There's always a few lines in situations and just like that. I actually have to put whatever I'm wearing over my face.
Yeah.
I had a sweatshirt on. It was
There's
over
a lot
my
of
eyes.
cringe moments in that show.
There are so many characters where they're like... There's so many characters.
There's so many characters. Just end it there.
One, there's so many characters. Two, there's so many characters that are like, I've never felt this way. When Seema and her lover are nosing each other at the end and I was like, you guys hate each other. I was like, these actors couldn't care less.
Well, can I also say, I love John Corbett.
Yeah.
But I feel like he made weird choices.
But you have to remember he's up against the biggest challenge of all time, which is, I hate to say this, one of terrible writing. Really bad writing.
That's true. But like when he calls and he's like crying about like his son, which I understand, he oversold that moment.
Okay, I think, well, here's what I think. Sometimes you have to remember, famously, in call scenes, like the actors are not, like, I think maybe he...
But he was literally like, oh, God, Carrie! Oh, God, Carrie!
I know, but maybe he's fighting for an Emmy, okay?
Fight harder.
Fight.
Well, the big question we haven't even addressed.
What?
The 60 seconds of Samantha Jones. How did you feel?
Well, one, I want to say this. I didn't get the reference. You know, she's like, I'm blah,
Annabelle
blah, blah.
Bronstein.
Don't know who that is.
Okay, it was in season 6 where it was like really hot during the summer. It was like a B plot, and she was trying to get into the Soho house, but you had to like apply months in advance. So she just happened to be visiting. Someone left their admission.
I remember that episode.
Yeah, and so she pretended to be that person who was British.
That is a real callback, and I would say I'm a devoted fan. And I thought this is maybe a famous actor I just never heard of.
No.
It's funny because it's really the only show I'm watching right now. I'm like, every Thursday, I'm like, woohoo.
Well, can I tell you one thing I don't like in this show? And it's so small, but it's like whenever someone makes like a joke that's like not funny, they're like, Miranda has the biggest reactions to stuff that's not funny. Like her boss showed up in the office and she was just like, I was working from home and the boss was a bitch. And Miranda's like, but you're the boss. And she was like, don't I know it? And she's like, oh. I'm like, Miranda, it's not funny.
Yeah, it's interesting. I love that Miranda was on the BBC, random for an intern.
She's had a big moment.
She's had a big moment. I'm glad that they didn't make Steve like literally the dumbest human alive this season. Like,
I think they gave his hearing back to him.
Like, what they did to him season 1 is truly so cruel. So cruel.
I feel like we could talk about this show forever, but I feel like we should probably introduce our guest.
I have been a huge fan of Dan Pelosi for a few years. I've truly cooked so many of his recipes.
His food looks delicious.
Following along on social media. I'm following. He posts so much good content. You know him probably as Grossy Pelosi online. His cookbook is out. It's called Let's Eat. So pick it up in your local bookstore. Please welcome Dan Pelosi. Well, thank you so much for coming on today, Dan. It's such a treat to have you on.
Oh my gosh, thank you for asking me. I love the title of your podcast.
Oh, thank you.
And what's so exciting is we're going to decide if you are bad today or good. Hopefully good, but like, you know, you never know where the winds will take us.
What happens if I'm a bad boy and what happens if I'm a good boy?
Well, if you're a bad boy... I will say, I'm just going to throw it out there. Just throwing it out there. Because
throw it out there.
When we were starting the recording, you were talking about having this new beautiful home upstate with air conditioning.
Yes.
So if you are deemed bad, you will hand that over to me.
Okay.
You will still pay for it.
Yeah.
But I will just live there.
Oh, good. Because I have 30 years left exactly of my mortgage. So that'll work out really well.
And then for good, you can make us dinner.
Oh.
So it's a win-win, I feel.
Incredible. Wow. I fucking lucked out.
Yeah, that's really a win-win. Okay, so Dan, famously, you have a cookbook coming out. And when this episode airs, it will come out yesterday.
Yeah.
I feel like I love cookbooks. I'm like, I have so many. I like read them front to back. And I'm always just so interested in kind of like the process of like, how do you choose which recipes go in there? How do you like test the recipes? Who are you testing the recipes on? Like, what do you do with the food post-test? Like, how many testings go into one recipe and all that jazz?
Just a few questions. Cool.
Yeah, just a few.
we like to throw them at you and see which ones stick.
So that's the last you'll hear from.
Yeah.
You're not going to say anything for the next hour, I take it. So cookbooks typically are a 2-year process. This is my first ever cookbook, so I had absolutely no idea what the fuck I was doing. I'm not a career food person. I sort of became a food person right when the pandemic hit, and it happened really quickly. So I went from being like a home cook who did it for fun to like being someone that people relied on for things. People really had to face themselves during the pandemic for so many insane reasons. And one of the reasons that I was able to help them with was how to be comfortable in their own home and also how to cook food for themselves and how to stock their pantry and how to really intentionally grocery shop. So my book is full of all these different guides. They're the Grossy Guides, which is my sort of moniker. It really helped me frame up this book and give people sort of like the heavy dose of me and what I love and how I live my life, which is really cool. That was the easy part. And then I think finding out what recipes to put in it was a bit harder because I'm not like a fast recipe developer and I'm not a career recipe food writer or developer. So I am really slow at this. And I'm always like, I literally am constantly like, I will never have another idea for a recipe the rest of my life. Like, this is it. Like, this is my final recipe. So I sort of live in fear of that. And I still sort of do. So to come up with 100 recipes that I know that no one will see for 2 years in a world when people are slapping recipes on Instagram every 5 to 10 seconds is a really weird and abstract task.
Well, can I ask you this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, about some of the weird recipes on TikTok, have you gone down that rabbit hole and tried it?
I'm sort of like a pots and pans, like wooden spoon, classic.
So you're not doing the cottage cheese ice cream is what I'm asking.
I'm not doing the cottage cheese ice cream. What I'm doing is saying I've been eating cottage cheese since I was 3. Like, this isn't news.
Yes, it's having a moment right now.
It's having a moment, which is like great. And I'm so happy that everyone loves cottage cheese. I think so many of us who've been eating cottage cheese our whole lives are sort of nonplussed. But also, like, I am so happy that people get so gagged over food trends and food because it's sort of like job security for me. Like, cool.
Well, I feel like so many people found you through Grossy Pelosi, your handle, but like it is so much work. Keep everyone updated. How do you kind of like...
First of all, are you sleeping?
Yeah, are you sleeping?
I think that like the organic sharing of my life is an absolute joy and I love doing it. And I've been doing it for much longer than anyone was following me. Like I was living the like, I'm an influencer, people care. And my friends would be like, you have 2,000 followers. Like we don't have to...
That 2,000 people's a lot.
We don't have to wait like 15 minutes for you to photograph the entire dinner. Like it's cool. And I was like, no. We absolutely do have to. So I was in like influencer boot camp for a solid 10 years until I like broke through. So stay, just keep your hopes up, kids. It can happen. Okay.
So we're technically still in boot camp.
So I feel like on our podcast, we like to talk about a little bit about conflict and conflict styles and sort of people's like general approach. Do you feel like with the sharing and like what you decide to share, is there like a certain approach you have when you either are talking to people in your life? Like, is it okay if I share X, Y, and Z? Or is there like kind of like everyone now is so aware that there's like less of a conversation you have to have?
Like, I do try to be like, there's a lot of eyeballs on what I'm sharing. I would say the craziest event was when I met my boyfriend's mother, Kath.
Honestly, I was following along. Yeah,
you were there for the first trip like 2.5 years ago.
I was there.
Like, it literally, at the time I had like 80,000 followers. The minute I put Kath on my story and shared our like week together, my story views were like almost 50%. Like I was getting like 35,000 views.
Wow.
And I looked at Gus and I was like, your mother's the best content I've ever posted on the internet. And I was like, is this weird? And he was like, yeah, but like, I think she gets it. So she is like the sweetest, most like she's just like a person in the world. She doesn't care about the attention. But now she's like, every time I go anywhere near her, she's like already in hair and makeup. She's like fully obsessed about what she's wearing.
She's just leaned in.
When I say makeup, it's like she doesn't wear a lot of makeup because she's like a natural like earth goddess from like Marin. But like, you know what I mean? Like she definitely is now considering what she's serving to the grocery public because she knows.
I think the next question is, when's that collaboration coming to light?
Oh my gosh.
What's that book look like?
Exactly. Well, no, I mean, honestly, I've been keeping notes for like the next book, like what recipes, because people want to know about her recipes. I mean, people want to know everything about her life, which is well deserved.
Now, something to think about. Sometimes when people get a little taste of fame,
they want the money.
They want the money, but the recognition. What if she wants to be on the cover like this? Very much in you in the background.
Oh yeah,
it would be a national bestseller if I could put her and Gus on the cover. If I could put her and Gus on the cover of a book, no one cares about me. They care about.
You could just
boyfriend.
Have your face like on the corner.
I'm a momager. Like I'll hand over the keys to the kingdom and sit back and just rake in the percentage.
Yeah, slowly transition to Kris Jenner.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Slowly. That's the next book.
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist-recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
The new COVID-19 vaccine is now available. The Fulton County Board of Health has updated COVID booster shots and flu vaccines to fight the latest variants of each illness. Remember, vaccines work. We've done an excellent job of staying up to date on vaccines, reducing the number of illnesses in our community. Continue to protect yourself and others by making an appointment at the nearest Board of Health location. The Fulton County Board of Health is here to serve you. Stay current. Visit FultonCountyBOH.com or call 770-520-7500 for more info.
Okay, so we have a game we play on this podcast called Heaven or Hell. And this is going to be a game where you are going to decide if these certain events for you are heaven, hell, or if you're kind of ambivalent, purgatory.
It's so funny because I literally 9 times a day, I'm like, heaven. Oh my God, heaven. Or I'm like, or I literally say hell. Now, I realize I'm like everyone else in the world, but I will pretend I'm special. So thank you.
Okay, great.
Well, that's perfect. You'll be ready and warmed up for this then.
Yeah.
The category today is Vacation House Mom Edition.
Yes.
For this game. So, because you're, I would say, quote unquote, a vacation house mom, these are going to be different things that could happen to you maybe on vacation with friends, family, when you're in your element. Blair, do you want to kick us off?
I would love to. Thank you, Sterling. Number 1. Your friend brings someone they're dating. You start assembling a batch of marinated tomato toast for everyone, and the new significant other says, "No mayo on mine. Can't stand the stuff." Heaven or hell?
Heaven, because more mayo for me. Bye.
Okay, I love that. I feel like my stance on mayo is this. I love mayo, and I feel like, not to put men on blast, but I do feel like there's a big contingent, and also a lot of women, but there's a big contingent that hates mayo. And to me, I say grow up. Like, if you hate mayo, I say grow up.
So this message is actually being delivered to me. I am not a big mayo person. I like it if it's mixed in as an ingredient, but as a condiment, barf.
Oh.
And I will not grow up. I said it here.
Oh, I hope one day.
I could not support both of you more. And I
Thank
do
you.
sort of, having spoken and heard unsolicited opinions about food from people for the past 3 years and wanting to say, I didn't ask you. I think that you should eat whatever the hell makes you happy and no one should tell you otherwise. So Blair, I support you.
Thank you. And Sterling, listen up. Say it a little louder for her.
Life is too short and too complicated, and we all come from very different backgrounds, and someone could have had a really bad experience with mayonnaise at some point in their life that will change the course forever of their relationship with it, and you don't know.
Mayo stole my car. It was a bad experience.
Mayo stole your car. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Don't yuck my yum. I stand by it.
Okay, that's so true. Okay, you're still on this vacation. You escape the group for a romantic evening out with your significant other. You choose an Italian restaurant that has a live band. When they bring out your dessert, and the band begins a rendition of Fight Song by Rachel Platten.
This is heaven, because I think this is now how I will propose to Gus.
Yeah, I was like, how has this song been incorporated in your life? Because you like to use them on a lot of Instagram stories.
I love this song. Someone was like, did Rachel Platten write the foreword to your book? And I was like, huge miss. But maybe she should open for me on my book tour. Don't you think?
Maybe.
She would totally, I think she's probably available.
Have you been in touch? Do you know?
She likes, sometimes when I use Fight Song, she likes my story with like the little heart in the corner. That's as close. It's like total foreplay, but I think we're going to fuck.
Honestly, you got to call her out on social media. Be like, this post is for Rachel Platten.
I mean, I'm keeping the algorithm known around her song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
you're helping each other's career.
that is like Starbucks inside of a heaven. Like, you know what I mean? Like my happy place.
Yeah.
All right, number 3. Your pal takes over dinner duty one night and announces the bruschetta is done.
In a Giada style pronunciation.
Oh my God, you guys, you are going to love, I have an entire head note in my book
I know, I read it.
Yes. Okay, great. You know this. You have my book. Sorry. Duh.
I have
this is
it.
where it's coming from.
No, sorry to spoil.
No, it's fine. I like literally thought that we were so deeply connected, but then I forgot that you've
Okay, I should have said.
got
pretend,
a copy
pretend
of
I
my
forgot
book.
It.
I'm so sorry. Fucking heaven. Are you kidding? Doing Giada drag? Heaven. Bruschetta.
Okay.
Now, what if they're doing it, but not realizing they're doing it?
Even better.
Okay.
I embrace the like insanity that was our Food Network childhoods. Like, say tablescape to me 5 times in my ear and I might ejaculate.
Okay, next one. You clean the kitchen after a big dinner and head to bed. You go back to the kitchen to grab some water and see that your mom is redoing all of your cleaning. Heaven, hell, purgatory.
Heaven. My mom's the best cleaner I know. First of all, I love that my mom's on vacation with me. Incredible.
Yeah.
Best vacation ever. All my best vacations. Secondly, like, if she wants to clean, I have there's
But she's
never,
redoing all your cleaning? That's fine.
that doesn't bother me. I mean, my mom taught me how to clean. Everything I learned is from her. I'm probably lazier than her just because I'm like, she has an energy source that we have yet to discover.
But here's the thing. You said your mom taught you how to clean, but yet she's re-cleaning all the stuff you clean. So do you think she's disappointed that she didn't teach you well enough to clean the way she likes to clean?
My mom has, my mother and I are like so deeply obsessed with each other. She'll never be disappointed in me. She just like, I understand the female urge to clean. I understand the female Italian mother urge to clean.
Yeah.
For my family, cleaning is the same as maybe like doing a yoga class for another person or like going for a walk. Like, it's a release, it's exercise, it's processing time, it's alone time. It's totally chill. Like, if she needs to clean, she came here to this house and cleaned. Y'all probably saw for like 7 days straight. She is mother.
She is mother.
Okay. You arrive back in Brooklyn after the weekend away to find a fan sitting on your blue picnic table out front. You inquire why they are there, and they say, I live here now. Heaven or hell?
Oh, that's like happened 4 times. It's like...
Has it?
Oh, yeah. No. Like, I literally have made it so in my previous apartment, my new apartment, I've made it less obvious because no one knows where I live and I've shown no signs of the exterior. But yeah, no, there was a mom from Colorado whose daughter lived in like Prospect Heights, and they like Nancy Drew'd their way onto my block and fully found the blue table. And I was upstairs cooking with my assistant, and I was like, I have to go talk to them. Like, they're not going to actually say hello. They've made their way all the way to the end of Survivor, but like won't let themselves win because they don't want to bother me, which I love. It's like fully crazy, but I'm like, this energy, I am a huge extrovert and people person, but I'm also a Gemini, so I do like alone time. But when I'm not in alone time, I'm like charging full speed ahead, like with my like, I'm like, hello, you know. So
Yeah.
I was like, I have to go talk to them. So I went down and we chatted, and I all but invited them in for dinner.
Were they sitting at your table, or were they kind of like outside the gate? Like, how close were they?
They were staring at it, but like, you know, I've definitely like, they were like sort of like taking pictures.
Okay.
Like, I was like, I felt like when I used to go to Boston to see like the New Kids on the Block where they like grew up when I was a kid.
Well, let me ask you a question. Going back to the fan at your table. So you said this has happened, but you didn't clarify if it was heaven or hell for you.
Yeah.
I think it's heaven. I
Okay.
embrace I kind of embrace all the ridiculousness of it, and I think it's funny, and also like I bring it on myself. Yeah, it's an all access pass. Like, I could never put anything behind a paywall because everything is in front of the paywall. Literally, the only thing I could do is have like a camera of me taking a shit is like the only thing that people don't see. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. That's the paywall.
Yeah.
We gotta monetize something.
Would you pay for that, heaven or hell?
Would I pay for it? Well, I mean, I would like a little show with it. Okay. So if you're doing something on top of the shitting, then yes, I will pay to see that. Telling stories, cooking, cleaning, you know, like really diversify your poops.
Okay. Sterling, are you in or no?
Would I pay for it?
Yeah.
She avoided the question. That's your answer.
She's poop shy.
You know, probably not. I think I'm like a classic fan. I think I'm like a classic fan.
G-rated. You're keeping it G-rated.
I like it spicy, you know?
Yes. Blair's got a little... No, don't kink shame.
Okay, our last one. You're relaxing by the pool at your Airbnb or wherever when Ina Garten tags you in an Instagram story with a picture of her making your famous vodka sauce. But the caption reads, made Grossy Pelosi sauce. She spells it S-A-U-C-E. And I didn't even pronounce it correctly. It's supposed to be Grossy sauce. Sauce.
Say it again, Sterling. I want to hear you say it again.
I don't think you're nailing it. You need to say.
I'm not.
It's like sauce. You could add a little. You could add
Sauce.
Like, add a little gravel. A little sauce. Sauce.
Okay.
Sauce. You're so tender. In what world is this hell? This would be the best thing that's ever happened to me times a million. And then everyone would correct Ina in the comments, and it would be a dream.
Okay, yeah.
So I think you were our first person to ever answer all heavens. So congratulations. No prize for this.
I'm a good time gal, you know.
I love it. Easy breezy.
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
The new COVID-19 vaccine is now available. The Fulton County Board of Health has updated COVID booster shots and flu vaccines to fight the latest variants of each illness. Remember, vaccines work. We've done an excellent job of staying up to date on vaccines, reducing the number of illnesses in our community. Continue to protect yourself and others by making an appointment at the nearest Board of Health location. The Fulton County Board of Health is here to serve you. Stay current. Visit FultonCountyBOH.com or call 770-520-7500 for more info.
So we've come to the portion of the podcast, which I think you know why you're here. Something's happened, potentially in your life, where it's hard to tell if you're in the right or the wrong. And Blair and I have never famously done anything wrong in our lives. We're experts on behavior.
This was hard.
I know.
It's hard being perfect.
It was really hard to figure this out because I was like, I'm technically perfect.
I know. It can be tough.
Like you guys. So this is why you host this show, because you're like moral judges.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's amazing. It's like The Good Place, one of my favorite shows ever.
Well, and to caveat it, I am a preacher's son, so I got that extra bit of a
God.
right?
Wow. I knew I was attracted to you for some reason.
Okay, I feel like the for some reason didn't have to be added to that compliment. I feel like you could have just left that off. But thank you, I guess.
Because it certainly wasn't the way you looked. That's
Okay, well, I know how I'm leaning for this judgment.
Yeah,
That's
I haven't
really
even
funny.
started the story
That's
yet.
funny. That was funny, Blair. Good one.
Thank you. I did UCB in 2016.
Okay, so here's my story, and it's wild. So I grew up in a family that, like, my Bimpy would, like, eat rotten food. He would, like, go to the grocery store and be like, take me to the back. I want to buy, like, everything that's past due because, like, we don't waste food.
Right.
And he would, like, chase the bread truck down an alley to, like, buy stale bread for his meatballs. And he reuses Ziploc bags and plastic bags and elastic bands for, like, literally 100 years, you know?
Yeah.
So we, like, aren't overly, like, wasteful. I think that because I'm a product of my time that I grew up in, I'm sort of like faced with a lot more enemies than perhaps Bimpy and my dad were in terms of battling waste and food waste. And so I do a lot of cooking. So I have a lot of food waste, not food waste, but like I have a lot of trash. A lot of times it's like the wrapping or like the like shell of like a shrimp or like things that just smell bad. Right. And it's also like a lot of packages that come in that everything's recyclable. So you have to recycle it. But like in my old apartment, it was like Sunday night was the only time that you could like throw trash out or recycling. So I moved into a new place, which happens to be above a food establishment. And when I moved in, the owner of the food establishment is the landlord. And I said, how do we do trash? And he goes, oh, it's like every night we have a company that comes and takes our trash away and you just put it in like a black bag and they take the trash. And I was like, okay, but what about the recycling? And he was like, it's all the same. Like you just put it in a black bag and put it in front of the house and they take it all because it's like a restaurant waste company. We don't use the city trash where like you have to recycle, right? Okay. It's like a private thing. So I was like, wow, like this is incredible, right? Because I will never have a bag of trash, like spend an overnight in my apartment, right?
Yeah.
And all my recycling, which is in my much smaller apartment, I don't have room for it. And if I can only put it out once a night, we literally don't have city garbage bins. So Gus and I look at each other and we're like, what the fuck do we do? Like we could either just like disregard the whole recycling complex, which I think is questionable. Like I've always sort of like wondered how recycling works and is it actually effective? Like how much personal trash and recycling actually gets recycled? I think it's an interesting question and there's a lot of theories out there. That's a whole different podcast. Or like, so I was like, do we figure out our own like homesteading system for like recycling and trash because we don't have like the bins the city provides? Or do we put the shit out onto the sidewalk every night and just call it a day and like sleep maybe with one eye open? It's been really hard to figure out. We've only lived there for like a month and a half and we've sort of we've done a little bit of both. But like, what do you do?
Well, you've already been partaking in kind of doing both behaviors, you're saying. So you've done some of the just black bags.
We've done some of just like we still separate it. Like I still have a recycling bin and a trash bin. And then typically I would recycle like paper and then metal and plastic or like whatever the sorting mechanism is. But now we would like throw a bag out that's all recycling and a bag out that's all trash. So we're not like mixing it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But like,
yeah.
So I don't even know what I don't know what the company does that picks up the trash or where it goes. Like, I don't know anything about it. All I know is that like I can have nightly trash pickup, which for someone like me is really great.
Yeah.
Especially in the city when the smells sort of tend to permeate. So we do have the option of putting bags of trash out on trash night and having the city pick it up and recycling, which we've also done like in the clear bags. So we have both options and we've sort of done a little bit of both, but I sort of feel a little crazy because I just would never. But then I'm like up at night Googling like, what is recycling? Is it a scam? Is it real? Like,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally,
I'm not trying to like win the like recycling is fake battle. I don't want to like start that narrative, but you know what I mean? Like, it's like,
well, how much trash are you accumulating within the span of a week?
I would say like 4 bags, depending on if I'm recipe testing and stuff like that. We're not like crazy, like, but we, you know.
Well, you just seemed really excited about the trash. I'm like, he must be producing a lot of trash. That this is big.
Like, I think like if I'm writing a cookbook and I'm developing like 4 or 5 recipes a day or like
that'll do
constantly, like, you know what I mean? Like, it can get pretty intense.
Right.
Other times it's not, and now I'll be there like not even all the time, you know. So it's like trash is going to be at a minimum, but it just felt like I felt really guilty, but then I was like, do I deserve to be guilty? Like, is this my family like impacting me? Is it like what is it? What is recycle? I just was asking a lot of questions about the world.
Now, I have a question. Are you composting at all?
There are compost bins like every other block now in Brooklyn that just got put in this year. So yes, and I am composting up here because I have 3 acres and like can do that, and it feels really right. I think a compost bin in your apartment hasn't been something that's ever like stuck. Being able to like every other day throw something in the like sidewalk compost bin has been much better.
Now I have a question.
Yeah,
I am familiar and have read this word compost, but what exactly are we doing?
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, I feel like there's like, and I hope I don't get shit for this because I'm just questioning like you are, but it's like, what are we all doing? Like,
because it's just all the food, right?
Yeah, but it's all the nutrients and stuff. And it's like, if you have a garden or like, you know, all those things like composting eggshells and fruit and vegetables, that like rotten stuff is like great for your garden to like, we had a compost bin growing up and so did Bimpy, and it would be like, we would throw all of our shit in it and then put it on top of the garden, and it like feeds all the great stuff back into the soil and keeps your soil really healthy, which is amazing. But like in New York City, I'm sort of like, where's that really going? Like, it might be going into like checks. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Now, another question.
Wait, I'm jumping in because my parents are going to listen to this podcast and guillotine me after this.
Oh, so you got to save face. We got to save face.
I have to save face because they're both environmental scientists and will come for me, and they're already coming for me because I don't compost. So I'm so sorry. One day I will start when I'm not living in the tiniest apartment. Okay, really quick. I think composting, just for our listeners, even though I'm not even doing it, it'll be good for like, it's like good for like greenhouse gas stuff, because like obviously this stuff like sits in landfills and like can produce a lot of greenhouse gases from food waste. So that's can be, but I don't know what the city is actually doing with the compost.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. I'm sure I could find out. I'm sure there's a lot of warriors out there who will be like pissed off about this, but I'm
actually sure my parents will be coming right for me, and they'll be able to give us a lot of info. But I do know that my father has been to multiple recycling places because he's always interested in recycling. Classic. And they do, a lot of recycling does get put in the landfill. Like a lot of stuff is not actually like quote unquote recyclable that you do try to recycle. So
Dan, if you just go on your social media and just be like, recycling, let's talk about it, you'll probably get all the answers, so you don't really have to do the research, which is nice. But going back,
I love that you think that, but like in the same way that you and I are like speculating, like people think they have answers to everything, but they like, I would get 7 wildly different. Like I went to Ireland and posted.
Well, just pick the narrative you like the most.
Well, I know, but that's what we're all fucking doing, which is what I'm saying. Like we're all picking the narrative around compost that serves us, and the narrative around recycling, and the narrative around trash and waste. My narrative comes from my history, but like when faced with sort of like this new dilemma, I'm sort of now like, what is actually happening to the trash? And like, I'm sure there's a real answer out there that's not super hard to find. And I've sort of been like thinking about it, but we're all just like using words like recycling and but compost and like as abstractions of like whatever's really happening. So I think it's kind of like morally, it's a big question, because I've, heard all kinds of things.
I try to do it mainly because when I was a kid, Nickelodeon had Earth Day specials and said do it. But to go back to the problem at hand, the days you weren't recycling, what was the thought process going through your mind?
The thought process was like, I don't know what's happening on the other end of this black bag nightly dump. And so I'm just going to like, with assume best intent and assume that when this bag gets picked up by the restaurant trash company, they're going to recycle it. So I was sort of like, maybe that's what's happening. No one said it wasn't. It wasn't like we don't recycle. It was just like we don't separate and everything goes in a black bag. Developing story for sure, but
it's a developing story. It's a conundrum.
It's a conundrum, but you have to now judge me.
So I think in a lot of ways, you're trusting your landlord. You're trusting the people's info that has been given to you. You're trying your best to compost or put your food waste in the correct receptacles. So I would say I would be leaning good.
As someone who likes the idea of recycling, I'm kind of in your camp where I kind of don't do it as often as I should. I just take one trash bag. I like if I get packages.
You're not even doing it?
Okay, I'm not on trial here. Okay. So, hold on, let me finish. Sometimes I'll get like boxes and I'll put the boxes in there's a cardboard section that I put them in. So I'm doing something. But the problem is just blindly trusting it's going to get separated. I'm going to say good because you're going into it with best intentions. You're thinking that they are doing their job, but like, it's not your responsibility to be their boss and tell them to do their job, even though they should be. So you're trusting in them, even though it's probably not happening, so I'm saying good.
Yeah. You're also giving the answers to literally so many people in life that are constantly asking you questions. And so for once I say somebody else should be the one that, you don't have to also be doing that. So maybe trusting that someone else is hopefully having
You're
good
speaking for the
intentions,
people.
too. You're speaking for the people.
It's sort of like make your life easier because like cosmically you're sort of like doing other good, right? Whether if this is bad.
Also, ultimately, it's corporations and less individual for the grand scheme of things.
Well, that was what I've been wanting to say in the back of my head for like the past 15 minutes. Is like corporate, and I'm glad you said it because corporations are like obviously doing way more than individuals. So like, what are we all doing? Like, I'm not saying we shouldn't be recycling. I think we should be doing the right thing. It's just like with everything else, like no one knows what's the right thing.
Well, I tell you what the right thing is. Buy your book.
Wow.
Thank you.
Good. Wow, that was a great
Thank
pivot.
you.
My book, which is made out of paper, which is made from trees.
Yeah.
Which who knows what that means.
Okay, well, for your good behavior today, really quickly, we have a reward for you today. We believe one of the greatest prizes you can get in life is a compliment from your therapist. So I have a compliment where I'll be pretending to be your therapist today. So Dan, what you exhibited today is what we can only describe as flawless behavior. Why don't we end this session early? I feel like we are both a little hungry, so let's eat.
Do you get it?
That was perfect. I do get that.
A plug for your
I got
It's
that.
your book title.
You guys, I hope you love my book. I hope you loved having me. I hope I forever am in your good graces.
Yeah, even though you said you were attracted to me for some ungodly reason.
That's the only bad behavior you get today.
There's nothing wrong with being like mysteriously attractive. If you really want to be the kind of person who just hits people over the head with your attractiveness and then walks away, it's kind of boring. I want to keep coming back to the well and figuring this out, Blair.
The words sound positive, but it still feels a little sus. But thank you.
Well, I hope you guys come by my book tour and say hello IRL. That would be so fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'd love. Are you coming to LA?
I'm coming to LA for 2 stops, the 10th and 11th of September. So get ready.
And that's our show. Thanks so much for listening today.
We absolutely hate to do this. We hate it.
But it would mean the world to us if you can subscribe to the podcast wherever you get podcasts, rate and review.
Follow us at Bad Behavior NYC on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks again for listening.
And remember, whatever your moral status, we are always here to judge.
Bye.
Do you think that was good?
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
Are you the creative type? Then you already know lots of cool things Photoshop can do, like create eye-popping images for social and gorgeous graphics for t-shirts and posters. But did you also know it can instantly turn a gray sky into a fiery sunset, change black and white to color in a click, or make anything in your photo magically disappear? Maybe you're wondering, can anyone use Photoshop to take images from ordinary to amazing? Nope. Everyone can. Visit Photoshop.com and get started for free.